Hi everyone, welcome back to C programming. This is Professor Mahadevaya teaching you C programming. Today we take up a simple calculator. So this simple calculator has to be simulated writing a program. Let us look into the simple calculator. Only we are interested in arithmetical operation. So of course this is a scientific calculator. We are not interested in other calculation. What we are interested is only the numerical part, that is arithmetical operations. So you need a number pad. Of course, a keyboard is having that, so we can enter any number what we want. And then we need the arithmetical operations. So to perform that, we need to read the operator. So operands we can enter anything. So operator is very important. So we already know about the operators that are supported within C language. So we have plus, minus, multiplication symbol, is nothing but the asterisk, and then division symbol, of course, indicated by forward slash, and one more extra, that is a modulus operator. So these are the things so which we can use. So you know that the same thing what I have shown over here. So this is of course this is plus symbol, and then minus symbol, and then multiplication symbol, and the forward slash, and the modulus operator. So these are the five different operations, one, two, three, four, and then five different. So there should be some way to store these operation, or of course directly you can use, but how to indicate the computer that this is the particular arithmetical operation we need to computer has to execute. So then we'll see how to achieve in a computational format. Conventionally, when somebody gives you two numbers, and they say that, so add this, you know how to do. So it is 2 plus 3, which will be equal to 5. So that is how we calculate. So because human brain is capable of doing that automatically, because we know how to add two numbers. But the same thing, whatever the operation, so it has to be told to the computer or the CPU which perform these arithmetical operations, how to do it in a programmatic way. So that is the question over here. So we need to understand that there should be some way to store these two numbers. That means we need some kind of variable representation to store these values, and then also understand what is the operation being performed. That can also be stored so in another memory location, so that the computer will understand so what operation has to be performed uh, depending upon that. So this can be achieved in a particular way. First of all, we should most important thing in any C programming or any programming, it need not be C, it can be Python, it can be Java, JavaScript, everywhere. So CPU can do wonderful operations, but it has to have some mechanism to store all the values in different stages. So the memory is another important factor. So along with the CPU, because CPU will be interacting with memory every moment of its operation. So this is very important. We need to understand how to store our data. So that is why we make use of memory variables, and at the same time we should also understand the other way how to proceed programmatically in a logical sequence, that is the control structure. So we will look into this particular program, how to do this operation. So you know that we need two variables. For example, programmer's perspective, how to incorporate this particular operation. We will take up one operation, and if you replace probably the operands remain same, but only the operator will change. So it can be any one of these five operations. So that means we have to select one operation per time. So that is the idea behind this simple calculator. You can't do every operation by just supplying the operands. That's not the way. Even in calculator also it is one and the same. So you press 2 and then plus press the operator button like plus minus something like that operations, and then another value you can supply, and then result will be automatically displayed. So or probably you may have to press is equal to. So how to achieve this programmatically is the question over here. We need some variable, let me call this as x, and the another value which we want to store is y, and then the operator we call this as op. So we will decide the data type later. Suppose if we have to deal with integer only, then x and y will be integer, and the operator is nothing but a symbol. So this will be of the character type. But after addition, so where it has to be stored. So we need another variable to store the answer. So that is another important aspect. So let me call that as z. So we will keep these variable name as simple as that so that it is easy to understand. Programmatically, how to do that, how to read and write. You know that everything can happen through keyboard. So during the keyboard operation, so that means we need to enter 2 and 3. How is that possible? Even symbol also we have to enter. Everything can happen only as an input operation. So input, all inputs can happen only through keyboard. So what we need is we need the scanf function to read, and whatever that is happening so will be displayed by the video or the monitor. So that can be done using the printf statement. So that is the idea. So we use this scanf function, we use the printf function for read and write operations, and of course cpu will be there to calculate whatever the operation. So let me see how to do it programmatically. So we'll get into the program and start working on that step by step. Carefully observe how to write a program. That's very important. Here the setup is already there, the minimal setup, that is I would included the preprocessor directive, which are very commonly included in every C program, and I have started main, because you can even write why I have not written void or integer, something like that. I am not returning anything from the main, so that is why without that indicating what is the return type, you can simply start writing the program. So let me start off with the program. Anyway, so with the main, you know that the very first statement in the C programming has to be what are the memory locations you are going to use. So name the variables and their data type. Think that we would like to handle only the integer. So I use int key variable. So and then I call that x comma y. These are the two variables. And also I need another variable to store the answer, that I will call it as z. Uh, okay, so these are the three integer variables we need. And then you also know that the symbol, the operator symbol is very important. What operation you want to perform this particular calculator. So that will be of character type because it's a symbol. So and then I shortly call it as operator. So OP. So that's enough. So because O is a little bit too shortened. So better is operator or even OPER. So whatever you feel you can name that as. So to type we better make it simple, because the lengthier the variable name, probably error will occur. So that is why, so it is better not. Okay, this is the memory locations we are going to use. So integer data type xyz are the three variables, and then character data type so is the operator. So we have four containers okay, ready for that. Once it is compiled, okay, you know that it is success, automatically in the memory the compiler of course in connection with the operating system, it would have allocated three memory locations ready for storing some values. Initially, it will be garbage value in all these container. That should happen in your mind, because you should know the sequence of how a C program works. So, and then what we are supposed to do? So we are supposed to do is the input operation. That means we need to input. For that, scanf is the function. Okay. uh, what are the two values we want to read? Integer values. So percentage d, percentage d is the two conversion factor which will enable us to read from the keyboard two values. But where it should go? It should go in the memory. We do not know the address, so that is why we put the address symbol. That will take care of everything, because compiler knows where it has been declared. So that is ampersand x. The first number should go to ampersand x, and the second number should go to the ampersand y. Okay, that's all. So suppose if I save this and then compile, you know that it's success. If I try to run this, it will run. There is no issue. Okay, let me. I think the previous things are there. So better always. Why you should always put the clear screen? So after the declaration is, you know that so anything that has been displayed earlier due to the execution of the previous program should be erased before you start the new program. So that's why I've included that clear screen. That's very important. So save this and then recompile this. Whenever we make any changes, we are supposed to recompile. Now you see that there is a fresh screen. So but it's simply there is a cursor blinking on the black screen. So what shall I do? I do not have any hint about that. So suppose if I try to enter one, okay, it is I do not know, the cursor jumps to next line. Again I enter 2 and press enter. Okay, so that means it is actually reading two numbers, but I don't have any clue. So that is why always you must understand that the any scanf, that is input function, whenever you are executing, you are trying to read something from the keyboard, always it should be read by, I mean it should be preceded by a printf statement. So what is that? So indicating that what you are supposed to do. So as a user, you are supposed to enter character, you are supposed to enter integer or floating point number. What is that function you are going to perform using the keyboard? That should be indicated over here. So that means enter uh, integer. It should be very clear. Integer values for x and y. This is very clear statement. So what is happening over here? You just see you are supposed to enter only integer values, not any other values. Like it can be floating point if you try to enter. So then probably it may work, it may not work. So depending upon the data type and other the ways. And where it is being stored, x and y. So it is very clear. So let me save this and then recompile and then run. Now you see enter integer values for x and y. So it is so clear. Now you enter whatever the values. Let it be very simple. Don't enter 1024 or 2048, something like that. Let it be very simple. If it works for the simple values, obviously it will work for a bigger value within the range, of course. So 2 and 3, press enter. Automatically, okay, this is capable of reading two numbers. Then after entering the operand, so we are supposed to read the operator. So what is the operation being performed? So that also should be relevantly indicated to the user. So enter the operator or operation, whatever you feel. So enter the operation, or let it be operator only. Enter the operator, arithmetical operator. Even you can actually very clear about that. So arithmetical operator. So okay, so you see that you don't need to actually put slash n over here. Okay, so instead of that we put at the beginning, because this slash and is also a character. You should be very careful. Later we can discuss in some other sort, some other time. So why can we use get c or get ch or get char or get she, like that? So I am going to use something over here. So the difference can be discussed, why it won't work out, or how to make it work for our own advantage. So all such things are a matter of discussion. Let us not waste time over here. So this is a different way. We are not going to use the scanf function over here. So instead of that, we are going to assign the character, because it is capable of reading only one character. Uh, this is a function I am trying to use, get chi, e for echo. So that get it nothing but it reads a character. It's as simple as that. But what is get char, get c or get she? So E is for echo. That means it will indicate what has been read. That is very, very important. Let me compile this, save and compile, and then try to read. So 2 and 3. And you can see enter the arithmetical operator. I will put plus. Okay. So, okay. Now what has happened? It has read. But how do I know? So let me go back to the user screen by pressing Alt F5. You can see that uh, that is being indicated. That is what I have entered, not what it has read. You do not know. You cannot guarantee. See, that is, computing is always mesmerizing. So that is why you should be very, very much pakka in understanding the concept, what is happening behind the scene. So let me make sure that what it has read should be printed over here, only to make 100% sure. So the operation is percentage %c. So I am trying to print the same. So where it is being stored, it is in the operator, correct? So let me include a new line character over here. So save this and then recompile and then run. Okay, 2 and 3 and then plus symbol and then go back. Can you see that? So the operation is plus. That means it is what we are thinking of the program has to do. So it has been done. So now we can easily proceed. So the starting section, it is like somebody is asking you to add 2 and 3 and telling what is the operation you are going to perform or supposed to do. So that is what we have done programmatically. So computationally it has been achieved. Now everything is ready, two numbers are ready and the operation is ready. How to achieve that? Using this. Now comes the very important aspect of that. So that is whether we are supposed to use what the kind of control structure. So how to go logically, I mean a sequence of operation, whether to operate a particular statement or not, all those things will be done by what is called as control structure. So what are the two different, what are the different ways of using the control structure? We can actually use if else control structure. So that is nothing but the ladder. So one by one. So if plus operation is there, do this. If minus operation is there, do this. Like that you can go on until so you find I mean any valid operator, do that. Otherwise you don't do anything else. So like if else statement will do that. But the better option is always the switch case. What is that? Switch to a particular case. That is the meaning. So this being a switch case control structure is being adopted over here. Of course, you can also try if else ladder. Both are one and the same, but the format is different. That's all. Nothing. There is nothing big about it. You can try out in any other situation, or I will show you using if else ladder how to do that. So for the time being, so we are adopting this switch case. So I think we go back to the program. Anyway, so how to do that? So we'll switch over to just a minute. Okay. Uh, right. So we are back. There was some hitch. Don't worry about that. Now we are ready to type in our program. So we are going to use what is called a switch control structure. You know that the switch is the keyword, and then it needs a single a boolean expression, or it can be an expression or a single character or integer, whatever it is. So this can be of character type or integer type. So or even it can be an expression over here, so which results in terms of boolean expression. That means there will be either true or false a particular value. So based on so expression always will lead to a particular value. So this is very important. That means it can be simply a character, or it can be an integer value, or it can be expression which is evaluated to value. That value normally, if it is evaluated, then it can be integer, or it can be sometimes even character also. So what we do is we know that we are entering this character value through keyboard, and that is being stored in what is called as operator. Okay, so this is enough. Based on this operator, whatever the symbol we enter, we are supposed to do something. So let us try to do only the addition operation. That is enough. So within this, so we know that the case has to be written because it is character. We have to embed within the single quote. So what is that? That is the plus symbol, and then it should be followed by a colon. This is very important. Don't put the semicolon. That's not going to work out. All probably it may indicate the error. Okay. So now once you are here, what we do is we put the brace indicating that it's a compound statement. So for this particular case, do these operations. So let us try to do a simple operation. Don't worry about this. So let me indent inside this. I think it's better. Okay. We will try to incorporate what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to do x plus y operation, correct? So but it should be assigned to a resulting variable to store the result, that is z. Z is equal to x plus y. This is a simple operation. This is performed by the arithmetical processing unit of the CPU. Nothing to worry about that. So it will do, and then store the value into z variable. But it is not going to display until we say to the computer. So when I say computer, it is the CPU will has to send the result to the monitor to display. So how to do that? We can achieve using another printf statement, because it's the output function. Uh, the sum of percentage d, that is the x value, and percentage d, that is the y value, is percentage d, that is the z value. So there are two double quotes over here. Anyway, so separated by, So in the left to right sequential order, the first value to be accessed is from X and then Y and then of course the answer Z. So you should understand the syntactical way of writing everything. So that's very, very important. And then after displaying, you know that computer is always very fast. It is so fast that it displays, it calculates and displays and comes back to the editor back. So to make it wait so that you can see the output on the screen, so you can introduce a getchar. So what it does is simply it reads, it waits for a keystroke. That's all, nothing else. What happens to that key pressed is red, so it goes into the air. So we are not worrying about that. Many times it happens like this. And then of course every time when you are done with the particular case statements, always you should break out of that and go to out of the switch control structure. That is it. So let me save this and then recompile. Let me see it's working, it going to work out or not. So now enter X and Y. So we'll enter 2 and 3 and then operator say plus. You can see that the operation is plus. Of course, the sum of the 2 and 3 has to be in the next line. So we'll introduce a new line character over here. So that's how you have to develop, design and develop. Nothing to worry if you commit mistake. If you 100 times if you rewrite, there is no issue. But you should be pakka. Instead of 2 and 3, we will enter some 10 and 20. So there is no issue. Operator is plus. Okay, so 10 and 20 is 30. Suppose by mistake after entering 10 and 20, when we are supposed to enter the operator plus symbol, instead of that, if I enter multiplication symbol, I pressed multiplication symbol on the keyboard, see what happens. It came back, it did not display anything. So let me go back and see. Enter the arithmetical operator. So I have entered multiplication symbol. The operation is okay, it has read correctly, but it is not doing anything. Why? Because there are no case related to that. If you go to any shop and then ask for a particular kind of soap, so bathing soap, then if it is not available, they say that no, it's not available. That's all. That means you have to walk off. So same thing it's doing, because this case is not matching over here. So and it simply walks out of the switch. That's all. So now because we are done with that, so we are supposed to do the other four operations. You don't need to repeat all these things, rating the same stuff over here. Simply you can copy this using control KB and then control KK and then come to the next line and then control KC to repeat that. Control KC. How many times? 4 times. So the very first is plus and we will change automatically. This should be the minus symbol, and here also we have to change. Just by indicating minus symbol will not do. So you have to do the operation, and relevantly it is not the sum, the difference. Whatever do you write, the subtraction or the x and y. X minus y, so you can say subtraction of y from x. Whatever you want you can display, there is no problem. You can simply change those values. And the next symbol happens to be the multiplication symbol, and also you change the operation, the multiplication symbol. And then should be the division symbol. uh, Here also you have to change that, the division symbol. So, course, the last one happens to be the percentage symbol or the modulus symbol. It returns the remainder. So relevantly, you have to change that. So let me save this and then go and relevantly change every statement. If you don't change that, then probably it may give you wrong message. So the subtraction is over. Okay. And then multiplication. So the product of x and y is so and so. And this is the division symbol. Division of so and so. And here it is modulus of. Or simply mod of. Simply you can say mod of. Let me save this. So we'll test. Of course, only one thing, there is some problem. Never enter 0 value for y or x. So then it can be taken care of. Simply enter integer values. Simply you say non zero values. You can say that non-zero values. So it will do, it will clearly, suppose if we enter 0 value, what it should be done. So that we can actually take care of that. Anyway, so save this and then compile. Then run. So say, okay, 5 and 2. Sorry, 5 and then 2. Enter arithmetical operator, say plus. So the sum of the 5 and 2 is 7. That's okay. You come back. Every time it does only one operation. That you must understand. So again I enter same thing, 5 and 2. And instead of that, now what I do is minus symbol I enter. So 5 and 2 is 3. It's okay. Then again rerun. Again 5 and 2. Multiplication symbol I enter. You can see that 5 2 it is 10. That's fine. Again rerun. 5 and 2. We have to enter division symbol. You can say that 5 divided by 2, that is the quotient value. So the division of 5 and 2 is 2. That's okay. And then again rerun. So percentage symbol we have to enter here. Again enter 5 and 2 and then modulus symbol I enter. So while entering, you know that modulus symbol is available on the regular keys above 5. So you have to hold down the shift and then enter. So it is, you can see that 2 2s are 4 and the remainder is 1. So it is working fine. Now what I do is, suppose if I press unknowingly some other key, for example, say for example less than or greater than symbol I press over here, operator. See what it does, if you go back, it will not do any other operation. What is happening over here? Because all the 5 different cases has been declared over here. So it is clearly written what the program has to do, supposed to do when these values or these cases are occurring. Suppose if it is not occurring, what is happening? So that is where you have to be very careful. So that case is called as the default case. Okay. So when you say default, so that means if not matching what you are supposed to do, it is like if you go to hotel and then order something which is not available, at least you can have a bite of coffee and then walk off. Correct? So it is exactly like that. So you have to, because no case is matching, you simply display a message that invalid invalid operator, because you are pressing that operator. So invalid operator, and then you have to wait for that display of the message and then break off. So put the break statement, which will take you out of the control is taken out of the switch. So again, save this and then simply try out for non operator, which is not available. So run this and enter 5 and 2, and let me enter something like, for example, okay, greater than symbol, because we have tested that. So the operation is greater than symbol. It is clearly telling that invalid operator. So, and you can also retry. So enter valid operator. So even message can be very correct. So try with valid operator. That's fine. This time I enter exclamatory symbol, which is not a operator. So operation is exclamatory. So invalid operator, try with valid operator. So thank you. So that means, so we are able to write, simulate the simple calculator having all the arithmetical operators that is available in C language. So we tried step by step. That is how you have to write. You are supposed to write the program one by one, so that you don't make mistake. Even if you make mistake, that can be easily debugged. So that's the idea behind this kind of programming. I hope you enjoyed this C programming in detail. I tried out with whatever the best knowledge that I could able to share with you. I think it's time up. Anyway, goodbye and good luck. So happy programming.